Dear students, I'm Mr. Smanza, the tutor for this subject, Business, Didactics and Learners Support. I welcome you once more again to the Institute of Open Learning. The class for today will be based on the assignment, or is assignment based, so to say. This lesson will serve as a guide in preparation or writing your assignment. We'll look at the assignment structure. Your assignment consists of 130 marks. It is comprised of two sections, Section A and Section B, of which each section will consist of 2 questions. Section A will be out of 60 marks, whereas Section B is out of 70 marks, which brings the total to 130 marks. That is the assignment structure. Students are advised to take note of the following information: that there is only one assignment for business studies didactics for this year 2018, for next year 2018. The assignment results are used and will be used to qualify the students to sit for the exam, meaning students are advised and required to put more efforts to pass this assignment. You are also advised to do the learning activities at the end of each unit. This is to test your understanding on the learning content. Let's look at the writing tips. You are required and requested to write an eligible work. This means your work must be clear, it must be readable and understandable. Structure and number your assignment accordingly as provided and required by the assignment. Your assignment must have a cover page, and it must also have the table of content. This is to guide the marker, Mr. Smanza in this case, on what is expected inside the assignment content. The assignment must have a reference at the end. It is a requirement. If you have cited a source within the text, please make sure that such an inside text or cite must be at the end of the reference list. And such inside citation must match with the list of references at the end of the assignment. You are advised when writing or answering a question to consider the marks allocated at each question in relation to the length of your work. You are advised that before answering a question, you must first understand the verb within such a question, the required verb or the required instruction or information for you. For example, the verb differentiate. Look in the study guide. Read and understand the meaning of differentiate. We are looking at the similarity and the differences within the required aspect or concept, so to say. Looking at the other example of discuss or explain. When such a term is used in a question, please do not list, please do not name, but discuss. In short, you are referred to go to your study guide or to other sources and understand the meaning of verbs. Let's look at the aspect of materials as a source for your assignment. Students who are not in possession of such resources or materials are advised to contact any nearest center in your town. You are also advised that you are not limited to the study guide that is provided by this institute, but you are therefore required and advised to consult other supplementary sources in order to expand or explore your knowledge in this subject. You can get such sources in the library or through internet. That is in short about the general guidelines in relation to writing an assignment. Let's now look at the content of the assignment itself. We'll start to look at the aspect of culture. What do you understand by the term culture? Culture is a business term that is not easy to describe, although it is defined as a way things are done in any environment. But in this case, we are talking about the business activity or in the business environment. Schools have also cultures of learning that guides on how things are done within the activities of the school, all in class. And this differs from school to school, either public or private. What are the attributes of an ideal culture for the school? Such a question in your assignment is requiring you to look at things like the research aspect, the sharing of information, the collaboration, communication, goals, and leadership. As an example, that is just in brief. You are required to research more and understand. Let's look at the stages that can be set by an educator, you as an educator, at the beginning of the year for the culture of learning. The first stage is the sharing of stories of the learning success, the sharing of expectations, the introduction of summer study via online, the encouragement of teamwork, the learning meetings with the communities, learning maps that must appear on the school hallway, the website, and class walls. Mistakes should be embraced as part of the learning path. Encourage the idea for positive change. New collective learning paths are chosen, organized, shared as the community members develop the learning community's efforts to teach the children. That is in short about the stages. I use the term in short about the stages of which an educator can set at the beginning of the year. You are therefore required to research more and answer in broad if a question requires you to discuss more. Let's look at the aspect of budget. What does the term budget mean? What does it imply to you? As a business teacher, you are required to fully understand the meaning of this term in order for you to translate effectively to the students within your lesson plan. A budget is a financial document or a tool that is used to manage the income and the expenditure within a certain period. It is therefore important for both individuals and organizations to understand the aspect or the importance of the budget. The importance of the budget or the so-called financial document may include the decision making, the planning, the management of debts, the establishment of priorities and targets, the provision of direction and coordination within the business activities. Those are the few factors that we may refer as to the importance of the budget. Let's look at the income and expenditure part of the budget. The income part includes the sources of finance. Where does the individual or the company gets the finance for it to move forward? The expenditure part will then include the expenses, the money that is spent on the operational activities of the business. That is in short about the aspect of a budget for this class. Let's look at the recruitment within the labor relation. As a business teacher, you are required to know and understand the recruitment aspect in order to prepare your learners for the future. The types of questions that can be asked in an interview. Recruitment process. Recruitment process is a process of finding a suitable candidate for the vacant position. In short, about recruitment, we cannot dwell much as the assignment is requiring you to go and find out more about recruitment. So that is in short about recruitment. Deep learning and surface learning. There is an aspect or the part that is requiring you to go and read more on the deep and surface learning, whereas you will be and you are required to differentiate such terms. Deep learning, in short, is the linking of ideas with the existing, whereas the surface is the memorizing of different information. You are and will be required to look at the future of the deep and surface learning approaches. Please consult your study guide and the other sources to explain more and find information on this topic. Let's look at the textbook. What is a textbook in the learning activity in this case? A textbook is always the main source or the tool in teaching. And these have the advantages and the disadvantages when using it in class as a teacher or with your students. It is therefore useful to both the teacher and the learner. But there are also some disadvantages associated to that apart from its usefulness. The question on the topic of textbook is critically analyze the use of a textbook in a classroom by explaining the advantages and the disadvantages of using a textbook, the difficulties that a student encounter in using a textbook, and you are also required to discuss the ways of overcoming such problems. What I am looking for, or what we are looking for in this question, when you are answering, please separate the aspect or the requirement of the advantage. It must be clear. The part of the disadvantage must also be separate. The part of the difficulties encounter in using such a textbook must also be separate. And the aspect of the ways of overcoming such a problem must also be separate. Understand the term critically analyze. In short, about the use and the importance of textbook in a class. The other information is to advise you that the content covered in this assignment is not enough for your understanding or for your preparation for the exam. So you are advised to also cover the other aspects that are not covered. Consult your study guide. This is in short about today's class. My students, I wish you good luck.